Hello, and welcome to the third in a series of Advocacy 101 broadcasts presented jointly by the American Brain Coalition and the American Neurological Association. I'm Nadine Goldberg, the Executive Director of the American Neurological Association, and I'm here with my colleague, Katie Sale, Executive Director of the American Brain Coalition, to share how you can participate in advocacy outside of Washington, D.C.
Advocacy you can do from your own community is every bit as important as traveling to Washington, D.C. As we record these broadcasts, COVID-19 has made many in-person meetings and events impossible. This broadcast includes options for engaging with your legislators virtually, and we hope the tips on in-person engagement will be helpful soon. Let's get started by hearing from one of our advocates, Dr. Frances Jensen.
There are many positive things you can do from your home, office, university, hospital, or wherever you happen to be. Members of Congress expect to hear from their constituents on issues they are passionate about, so don't hesitate. Start regular personal communications with your legislators and their staff. That means you should contact them every month or two by email or telephone. Do not rely on snail mail. It takes about 2 weeks to arrive in DC because of testing for dangerous enclosures. Fortunately, technology has provided us with a number of quicker and more efficient communication channels.
When you're in regular touch with your elected officials, you may not always need something from them, but you can serve as a resource. Sometimes your messages will ask for something specific, for your representative to vote a certain way or co-sponsor a bill. But other times you should pass along information, ideas, and stories that you think will be helpful. And you don't always have to take the first step. Our organizations are following what's happening in Washington and keeping our members informed. When you receive an action alert from the American Brain Coalition or other organizations, please act promptly by sending emails as the alert requests. It always helps to personalize those letters with specifics relating to your experience and expertise.
Okay, now to the what, why, and how. What? Develop a good relationship with an elected official. Become an asset to this official. Provide good, clear information. Assist in understanding the context and create opportunities for positive encounters. Why? To increase interest in and support for good science. After all, Congress funds NIH. Quote, "The people we really listen to are the voters. Not once have I heard anyone at a public meeting ask me, 'What are you doing for medical research?' Not even a researcher. Current congressman." How? Connect. Research legislator, philosophy committees, voting record. Why they do what they do. Develop a relationship with key staff.
You can take advantage of your local media too. Write letters to the editor about issues. Members of Congress and their staff want to hear from the people they represent. They always read the letters in their hometown newspapers, and that includes the online editions. Editors like letters that respond to something that appeared recently in the paper, so be on the lookout for news about biomedical research and neuroscience. Keep your letter concise, approximately 150 words. Most newspapers prefer email submissions. Include your full name, address, phone number, and email. Keep in mind your letter does not have to be a complaint, quite the contrary. Make sure you compliment your representatives if they do something beneficial to patients, your community, university, or hospital. When Congress is in recess, members of Congress are out and about in their home states and districts. Go to town hall meetings that your members of Congress hold and ask questions about brain-related issues, or make an appointment to meet with your member of Congress in the local office. Don't forget the state and county fairs, as well as parades that politicians frequent on weekends and during their August congressional recess. Tell them about the potential local impact of proposed legislation, whether it's positive or negative. Has your institution received federal funding for research? Share the benefits that has created. Or alternatively, is there a lack of federal funding having a negative impact on your community? Share that too.
Seeing action and issues in their own communities is invaluable for elected officials. Invite your members of Congress to speak to your organization or tour your laboratory. If one accepts, you can show off what your organization is involved in, but also ask some direct questions about what they are doing in Congress that supports your brain disease or your research. Contact the American Brain Coalition staff prior to the visit for possible questions and talking points.
Build relationships with congressional staff who work in the state or local offices or district offices. They represent the member of Congress at local meetings and events, even when legislators are in Washington. They also serve as caseworkers to help constituents with federal programs and benefits. Invite them to regular meetings and events on your calendar and let them know how you can help them serve the community. Then, when the senator or representative needs to know how legislation might affect constituents, local staff will know who to turn to for input.
Gather interested names everywhere and let them know how valuable his interest is. Get his or her name in the news, positive reinforcement for more involvement. Specifically ask him or her to join the Congressional Neuroscience Caucus and introduce the staff member to caucus staff support. And when a request needs to be made, prioritize. Too many requests diminish the impact. See this as a relationship and update periodically. Keep it easy, effective, and enjoyable.
Chances are you're not the only one in your community who is passionate about brain disease issues. Share information and ideas with others in your community and institution who care about brain disease issues. There is strength in numbers. Building coalitions is a tried and true method of influencing public officials.
Social media is a way you can connect with almost anybody from anywhere. Most members of Congress are on Facebook, Twitter, and other popular platforms, and they want you to engage with them. If you use social media, it provides another vehicle for reaching them and influencing their thinking.
Finally, as Francis Collins says repeatedly, the scientific community must communicate to the public and its leaders the compelling value of science. Scientists like to tell ourselves that we are too busy to worry about image, but the reality is that our work only has a chance of making a difference if we build a much broader base of popular support for medical research than currently exists in this country. It's up to us. Finally, as Francis Collins says repeatedly, the scientific community must communicate to the public and its leaders the compelling value of science. Scientists like to tell ourselves that we are too busy to worry about image, but the reality is that our work only has a chance of making a difference if we build a much broader base of popular support for medical research than currently exists in this country. It's up to us.
In our three-part series, the American Brain Coalition and the American Neurological Association have presented a comprehensive overview of the key role that advocacy plays in advancing delivery of quality healthcare, biomedical research, and training the next generation of healthcare educators. We're so glad you've been able to participate. We hope you found the information useful and that it's given you the knowledge and the tools that you need to take effective steps toward building relationships with your representatives and with your senators. All of us together are passionate about the advancement of brain science and the support for clinical care and education. We're stronger together. The louder and clearer our collective voice is on Capitol Hill, the more successful we'll be in furthering our efforts together. So please share these broadcasts with your own colleagues and with your social networks. We at the ANA and the ABC are available to answer your questions, to help you with your advocacy, to find new opportunities, and to make suggestions. And at the same time, we want to learn from you. So please reach out to us. Tell us about your experiences, what worked for you, what didn't. I think will be very helpful to us all. Most of all, we hope you're inspired to make a commitment to advocacy. The First Amendment tells us that it's your right to petition your government for a redress of grievances. So let's do this and move forward together. Thank you and look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you to all of our speakers. and especially to you for listening. Please visit the ABC's website for more information or contact Nadine and myself at any time. Thank you.